Welcome to Let's Talk Influence. My name is Ashvin Dhyriam. I'm talking with Kiruba Shankar, CEO of a digital marketing company called Breathe, professor in digital marketing, and also an author and the president of the Speaking Federation in Asia. Kiruba, it's a pleasure talking to you. We're talking about Let's Talk Influence, and one of the questions which our viewers which regularly ask is, yes, I want to influence, yes, I want to impact. But one of the struggles I have is, how do I understand my audience? That's a question they have. What's your take on that?
Great question, Guy. Understanding audience is the fundamental part if you want to become a good influencer. The reason is because once you understand who wants to benefit from your knowledge, what are their pain points, what are their end objectives they want to succeed. Because if you make them succeed, we succeed. As an influencer, you succeed when your audience succeeds. That's a golden formula that everyone needs to understand. But for you to understand, you need to do an analysis. What are the kind of people? What is their age group? What is their ethnicity? What is their language? What are their pain points? What are the solutions that they are seeking for? And doing that analysis will help you change the kind of content and customize it for their needs. I think that is like super important. Many of us, what we do is we jump into, okay, I want to start a YouTube channel. Okay, let me start a YouTube channel. That's a wrong thing to do. This is where I think we can really learn from some of the best corporate companies. Why are the Apples and the Googles of the world so successful? Is because they invest a lot of money and time and effort into doing proper research before they come out with a product. Now, we don't have that kind of money. We don't have that kind of manpower or the time. But at least in our own level, understanding our audience is very important. And that audience should also match with our skill set that we are offering.
Coming in a digital spectrum, you teach as a digital professor and advise several companies. How do I really, using the digital tools, on the TV side, it's very difficult to understand audience because you don't know who's calling, it's tracking data is so difficult. But in the digital side, there is a lot of data which can be tracked. How does one evolve around that and build that audience, Kiruba?
You were absolutely correct. In the digital, one of the biggest advantages is that you can get to amazing statistics, Ashwin. Right now, we can find out for our website, for any one of our websites that people are looking for, you can go to Google Analytics and you can get various amounts of data that is super helpful for you. How many people came today? How many people are return visitors? How many people are new visitors? What is the keyword that people put on Google search so that they came to our website? Which page did they enter? Which page did they exit from the website? How long were they there? What is the browser that they were using? What is the phone that they were using? This is absolutely information equivalent to gold.
This is detail to detail.
This is really detailed. Accordingly, you can then modify your information. For example, if you notice that most of the people are watching your video at 8 o'clock at night, then what you can do is you can then give your content that is useful for them who are watching it at 8 o'clock at night, and you can also upload the video around that time. If you notice that people are watching it at 11 o'clock, and which means that they are actually watching your video from the office, they are not necessarily watching from home. In watching from office, people will not be able to put volume on watch, and hence you'll have to make their subtitles larger. Right? So you will have to understand, and then accordingly you'll have to present your data out there.
So let me ask you another question. Why should I understand my audience to make my content effective? What happens, because as a speaker or as an influencer, you know this is the content you can deliver. But what you're saying makes a lot of sense when it comes to beaming. Is there any practical examples from what you see, because you travel a lot? How do we drive this point to help our viewers here to get the fact that audience do matters?
Yeah, I have an example from my recent visit to Delhi, Ashwin, and it's a classic example. There is this one particular Golgappa vendor, which is your Pani Puri vendor in Delhi. Now, typically in Chennai or any other city that you go, a Pani Puri would be 20 rupees or max 30 rupees. And I noticed that this guy, this elderly gentleman, probably in the early 60s, he and his wife, in a very small shop, was selling pani puris at 100 rupees and 200 rupees, and it goes on up to 750 rupees for a plate of pani puri. Now that was astonishing.
Yeah.
What
150
was
for a plate of pani puri.
for a plate of pani puri, and on average people are paying 100 rupees to 200 rupees for a plate of pani puri, which itself is like astonishing. But what was astonishing was not the cost. For me, what was astonishing was the amount of crowd waiting outside the shop wanting to have that pani puri, who's willing to pay 100 rupees and 200 rupees for pani puri. And that was like, wow. And he makes multiple lakhs of profits every month. So I was very curious. I waited until the crowd slightly subsided, and when it was at a slightly lean time, I went and asked him, how come you have the guts to charge 100 and 200 rupees for a plate of pani puri?
It's a very great question to ask.
Yeah, because I'm still there is so much crowd. And then he told me, he asked me, where are you staying? I said, I'm staying at Crown Plaza, which is close by. And he asked me, how much are you paying for the room? I said, I'm paying 9,500 rupees for my room at Crown Plaza. He says, but there are other places where you can stay for 500 rupees also.
Correct.
There is a lodge. Why is it that you did not go and stay in a lodge? Why are you going and staying in a star hotel? I said, no, but I want comfort. I want it to be clean. He said, exactly. He says, I found that there is a prejudice for pani puri walas. Yeah, pani puri walas are dirty. Pani puri is made from water, contaminated water, and people say that you will get Delhi belly when you eat outside. I want to change the perception, and I want to now give very good, clean pani puri. Now, the reason why I took this example is because, remember what I said, you have to understand your target audience. You have to understand their pain points. In this case, this elderly gentleman, the pani puri wala, he found that rich people who want to eat pani puri don't have a place to go. Right? So he created a place where the place is spick and span. It's all very transparent, very nice, clear costing, and excellent customer service. He speaks wonderfully well. And now I know why he is successful. Now I know why he is earning lakhs of rupees. Now apply the same principle for any of the tasks that we are doing. Or if you are running a YouTube channel, who's the target audience who wants to watch our channel? What are their pain points? Can you do an analysis? Can you do that? If you're writing a song, how can you craft the song based on who you want to reach? If you're writing a book, if you're writing an article, if you're writing a blog, spending time to understand the target audience is super, super important.
Yeah, understanding your audience, so it's very critical. In fact, even for this set, the amount of time the team took for the lighting, for the detail, I think one of the first things you said, Ashwin, the detail is so amazing, and it is a gift, and it's a calling which the team has. And so what you're saying makes a lot of impact, because for those who are watching and saying, I understand what I'm doing, but it's also important to be clear about how I'm servicing my audience. Yeah. So that's the nutshell I'm getting. Am I right, Kiruba?
You're absolutely right.
Right. For those who are saying, yes, I understand what you're saying, what would the next video talk about?
The next video will talk about what are the platforms that we will be choosing, and every platform will need to be customized with a specific type of content. And that's what we'll be focusing on.
I'm looking forward for the next video, and it's really great talking to you. And friends, we are talking about how you can actually influence and how you can go to the next dimension by understanding this keyword about influence.